Welcome back in. It is the local and community issues and answers right here with Jonathan Lawson. And we're so thankful to have in our studios today Mr. Janice Jones and Mr. James Collins. They are from the Gospel Jamboree. Welcome in, gentlemen.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Now, I understand that you all have got a great big gospel singing coming to the Corbin Arena.
We have a great big concert coming up at the arena next Friday. That's April 25. It gets underway at 6:45. We're featuring 4 local groups, got special guest appearance by 4 other soloists. It's about 2.5 hours of good local gospel music.
And this is so great for our community. The Civic Center right down there, we need to put it to good use and reach out and touch in people's lives.
This is one of the kind of things that the whole family can go to. It's a family event. We feature a wholesome atmosphere, Christian atmosphere, and gospel music, all in one great big room.
James, let me ask you a question. How long have you been involved in the Gospel Jamboree?
This is our 7th year. It will be in July. And we've just been having a great time in the Lord with it, because the Lord guided it, and He took and sent the people in,
Well, throughout these years, I'm sure you've seen so many lives that's been touched, and it's such a great thing for our community to reach out and touch people.
Amen. That's what I was just telling Janice a few minutes ago before we came on there, that so many people has come up and said if it wasn't for that, they wouldn't got back to the Lord, or they wouldn't have turned their heart over to the Lord. But when the Lord's involved, that's the reason things happen. As long as you keep Him first, you'll see it just keeps growing. But we have a pig roast in July, so everyone's welcome to come out and be there. And also this Saturday, singing begins at 3 o'clock this coming Saturday.
Brother Janice, tell me and the viewing audience about the vision of putting on these concerts and things like that.
The vision goes back to almost 2 years ago for some local Corbin citizens sitting in a coffee shop drinking coffee. And they said, it'd be nice to have something up at the arena that anybody could afford to go to, have a good time with their family, and promote the city of Corbin and this area as the home of gospel music. Because Corbin and this area has as much talent as you can find any place in these United States. I want to quote our Treasury Board member, Herman Moore. He says, if you shake a tree in eastern Kentucky and 5 people fall out, at least 3 of them can play music on a guitar or strings.
That's so great. And it is helping our Corbin area, and it's helping the people in the community, and it's just a good fellowship for our community.
We put this together last year with nothing. We didn't know how it was going to work. Folks were telling us it wouldn't work. But when we opened the doors 1 hour before the concert started last year, people started filing in. And before the evening was over, our crowd was somewhere around 1,700 folks.
Amen.
To hear local gospel music.
Yes.
James, that's a blessing, because out of that many people, that the Lord's dealing with hearts and people's lives is being changed.
That's right. I was up on the stage playing last year, and looking out, I was sitting there wondering how many people was probably out there. I was thinking there's probably 2,000 people. It's a big crowd for the first time ever being evented. And right now, ain't it, Dennis? We got even a lot more people's coming this year.
Mm-hmm.
We at least hope so.
We
You
hope
never
so.
know till those doors open.
That's right.
But we know how many tickets are out there and how many folks are trying to gather in. I think there will be more than the 1,700.
That's right.
When you've been in the Lord's work, like I've been in the Lord's work, you can judge whether or not a crowd is into what's going on.
Right.
And sitting there in that big old place last year, you could tell whether or not they were really into what was going on. And when you have folks come up to you at the end and say, hey, do it again and don't change a thing,
That's right.
then you know that you have been able to bless somebody.
Well, let's talk about the singers. Who you got lined up on the roster here?
We are going to start out with the Gospel Jammers from the Gospel Jamboree that gather there at the barn every Tuesday night and make gospel music. We also have New Harvest from up in London, Kentucky, a young and powerful group that are just beginning.
Amen.
We have Clear Fork, a long-time bluegrass group in this area. They've been playing gospel music, I believe, since 1995. Not all the same ones, but a couple of the same ones.